Hello everybody, welcome back. Scorpio Caesar here, part of the Super Retro Force, and in today's video, it's finally happened. The day we were all dreading. July 29th has hit, and the Xbox 360's marketplace is officially closed. Now, let's not exaggerate here. Everybody's calling this the death of the Xbox 360. It's not the death of the Xbox 360 unless your console has the right ring of death. This is just the Xbox Live Marketplace on the 360 that's going. Granted, the reason why a lot of people are saying that it's the death of 360 is because a lot of the identity of the Xbox 360 was tied to the Xbox Live Marketplace and its storefront, and Xbox Live Arcade. So that's unfortunate that it is finally gone. Now, we were all given a fair warning, but it doesn't hurt any less, knowing that a lot of games and a lot of downloadable content that did come out throughout the years of the Xbox 360's life cycle is now officially gone. Granted, there are ways you could mod the Xbox 360, and it might be something you may want to look into in the future. I know it's something I'm seriously considering, but that's not today's topic. Today, I wanted to talk about the Xbox Live Marketplace and some of the games that I picked up throughout the years from the digital storefront, and talk about some of my memories with these Xbox Live Arcade games. So anyways, with that out of the way, welcome to the CesArcade.
Get ready.
This is the blandest of the dashboard you're gonna get now from this point forward, and I am actually shocked by just how barren it is. That being said, I have to give them credit because it's running a lot faster and smoother than when it had all that crap on it in the first place. Like all those ads, all those unnecessary things. Glad that's gone, but still, this looks so sad. There's only 3 tabs now, and it's depressing. So like I said before, in today's episode, I just want to look at some of the games I have digitally stored on my Xbox 360 and go through some of my favorites. And yeah, let's go through it because I feel that's a good topic to talk about today. Here we are. Let's take a look at some of the games that I have downloaded and some of the demos. Afterburner Climax was a game that I downloaded the demo for. Unfortunately, I never got around to actually buying the final version of it, and that's a shame because it has since been delisted, and it was a really cool looking and playing version of Afterburner that was exclusive for these consoles. And unfortunately, once again, it got delisted because Sega antics. Anyways, moving on, we have Bionic Commando Rearmed. And Bionic Commando Rearmed is one that I've had for the longest time on the PlayStation 3, but having it on the Xbox 360, it was only like 99 cents just recently when the sale was going on, and I figured I'd pick it up on the 360 as well. Bionic Commando Rearmed is a great remake of the classic NES game, and it's one that I remember playing and really enjoying, especially the soundtrack in particular. The soundtrack was amazing. Unfortunately, the sequel was still a bit on the pricier side. It was like $10, and I still want to get that, but I may have to resort to getting that on the PS3 or the physical edition that comes in a collection. And yes, of course, before anybody gets on my case, of course I enjoyed Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, and Perfect Dark HD on this platform, but those I would like to save for another topic at another time. So let's move on. Beyond Good and Evil HD is another one that, man, I loved this game because this was the first time I actually got around to playing it. And it's a great version of Beyond Good and Evil, which is considered a cult classic for the 6th generation of consoles. It has since been kind of obsolete now, with that the Anniversary Edition has just recently come out. So if you haven't played Beyond Good and Evil before, don't worry about it. The most recent release of it, the Anniversary Edition, is supposedly the best looking and playing version of it to get. Castlevania Harmony of Despair. Now, this is a game I remember making a joke video about way back in the days when it originally came out. Me and my boy Serge Manex, we were hyped for this game because it was like a co-op version of Castlevania. However, when we actually got around to playing it, we're like, wait, this is timed? This is weird. Loading times were so long, it was ridiculous. But there it is. Honestly, it's such a weird version of Castlevania. You got this big maze-like castle you're exploring, and even to this day, I still don't remember what the goal for it was, but it was what it was. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. You see, this was my first exposure to Symphony of the Night, and I remember playing the hell out of this version. I never beat it, but I did have a great time with it, and I mean, it's Castlevania Symphony of the Night. How much more do I need to say? It's a classic. And the Xbox 360 version was a pretty solid version of it. Next up, we have Comic Jumper. I hate this game. I don't know why it triggers me so much. I guess it's because the main character, whenever you die, he just starts berating you like you suck. And you know, granted, it's a skill issue and I probably do suck, but I think the game sucks as well, so the feeling's mutual.
Hope none of your friends are watching.
Contra, this was my first time ever playing Contra when it came on the Xbox Live Arcade. I had never played the NES version back when I was a kid, so being able to experience this classic with co-op was fantastic, and I'm glad I still have this one. Costume Quest. This is one that I really enjoyed. It's a fun little RPG. Kids dressed up in costumes, and each of their Halloween costumes can transform them into like a Gundam, a shiny knight. It's really awesome. A game very underrated that unfortunately never got a physical edition, along with its sequel, Costume Quest 2. Counter-Strike Go was a fun little romp. I don't remember if it got all the updates the PC version did, but it was still pretty fun when I got around to playing it. Doritos Dash of Destruction. I just remember these cars. I just remember you're playing as these cars trying to get away from dinosaurs or vice versa. It was an easy 200 gamer score, and I remember getting that. Dead Rising 2 Case Zero and Dead Rising 2 Case West were both a standalone prequel and a sequel for Dead Rising 2. And I remember playing the Case Zero in particular and being so hyped for Dead Rising 2 when it was coming out. So being able to play that and enjoy that was a nice little slice of demo for the final version of the game. So if you haven't picked those up, they're both backwards compatible on Xbox One and Series systems. So the good thing about that is that they're still readily available to download, so you don't have to worry about those being lost to time. Doritos Crash Course, fun little Xbox Live arcade game with your Mii running through these obstacle courses, kind of like Wipeout. Pretty fun, not a bad game whatsoever. Dust and Elysian Tale. Now, this is a game that really took me by surprise. I remember when I first played this game, I had such a blast playing through it. I didn't finish it though. And the art, the voice acting, the gameplay in particular was really fun and worth experiencing. I have since bought the special collector's edition from Limited Run Games, but this is a game I definitely wanted to own physically. So I have it on my Xbox 360 digitally, and now I have it for the Switch physically. Hexic HD. Now this was the first Xbox Live Arcade game I had, because if you bought an Xbox 360 around launch with the hard drive, you got this game for free. And it's a fun puzzle game. It's kind of addicting too. And I always had a great time playing this with my custom soundtracks. Had a ball with it and I loved it. Hydro Thunder Hurricane. If you've played Hydro Thunder before in the arcades or on the Sega Dreamcast or N64 PS1, this is like an HD version of that game, but it's got different tracks. The graphics are beautiful, the gameplay is solid, and it's unfortunately tied to the Xbox 360 and Xbox Live. There was no physical edition of it, unfortunately. However, it is backwards compatible on Xbox One, so don't worry about this game going anywhere anytime soon. The same thing can be said for Hydrophobia. Now, this was a game that I remember being hyped for back when the Summer of Arcade games were being announced, and I played a bit of it. I did enjoy the water physics in the game, but there were some things about it that I didn't care for gameplay-wise. The game has since been updated apparently with some fixes that they eventually brought to a PS3 version. Both games only digital, never got physical releases, but this one is backwards compatible on Xbox One. I would like to revisit this one again sometime. Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. This was a cool top-down isometric twin stick kind of shooter. It definitely felt Tomb Raider-esque. You had a lot of environmental puzzles, you were raiding tombs, and it was pretty cool. It got a sequel, and those have since gotten physical editions, I believe, through limited run games. So, and they're also backwards compatible. At least this one is, so you don't have to worry too much about this one, escaping you. Limbo! Oh my gosh. What can I say about Limbo that hasn't been said already? Limbo is an amazing game that really caught me by surprise. I was not really expecting for this game to be so violent. And I remember playing it to this day, and it still gives me chills. Still, to this day. One hell of a game that's definitely worth experiencing. It has since been released on modern day platforms, so if you haven't played Limbo and you like 2D platformers with some puzzle elements to it, definitely check this one out, especially if you like creepy games, because this one has the creep factor. This one, man, this game is depressing. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I remember being so hyped when this was announced for the Xbox 360 Live Arcade, and I remember downloading it. I did a review on it on my original channel. It's still up there somewhere, and it's Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Still a pretty solid version of the game, but I'm so glad that it's finally getting a re-release these days. Minecraft. Oh my gosh. This was my first experience with Minecraft on the Xbox 360. I believe I got a free code from my boy Turtlebird. And thank you again, Austin, for that, because when I played Minecraft, I was like, what is this all about? What is all the hype? I got sucked into this game. I still have my original world from that game. And to this day, it's a game that I love returning to whenever I need to just sit back and chill for a bit. And it's such a classic game. I mean, it's Minecraft. Everybody's played Minecraft at some point in their lives. And if you haven't, I definitely suggest you check it out. It's a really cool, chill game. The 360 version is still my favorite to this day. And I do have a physical edition of this game as well, so I'm happy to have that. Monday Night Combat. This was like a PvE arena shooter. You had all these different kind of classes. You had like a ninja, you had a tank, you had a sniper. It was very interesting. You were in this arena, right? And all these like machines would start coming out and try to destroy like parts of your base, and you had to defend it. It was like a tower defense game as well, but it was the best when it came to multiplayer. And being able to play this with my boys on Xbox Live, we had such a great time with this game. Pit Girl is still one of my favorite character designs of all time. So simple, so awesome, and unfortunately this game got a sequel that was exclusive to the PC, which was quite unfortunate because I really did enjoy this one. Thankfully it's backwards compatible, so if you haven't played this one, definitely give it a shot. Outrun Online Arcade. Now, this is a game that once again, I didn't care for when it originally came out, which was stupid of me in hindsight. Probably one of the best versions of Outrun you could play that has now since been delisted, just like Afterburner Climax. I wish I downloaded the full version when I had the chance, but I do have the demo in case I ever want to play it. I do have Outrun 2 as well on the original Xbox, which is still pretty good. Honestly, it's a fantastic game. But this is one of those instances where it's just like, you know what? If I really want to play these games, I might as well just mod my Xbox, since they weren't, they're not available to download or play anyways. Can't buy them. They're not going to let me buy them, so I want to play them, right? Might as well mod my Xbox at some point. That's probably what I'm going to do. Pac-Man Championship DX Edition. I love how it took the classic Pac-Man gameplay and made it feel new and exciting, and I really did enjoy this version of Pac-Man. It was fun, flashy, a lot of substance, and a great time all around. Plants vs. Zombies. Another game that needs no introduction that I got to experience first here on the Xbox 360, and I had such a great time with this game. I remember finishing it and wanting more. I have since picked up the physical edition of the game, and it's great to have this game. It's such a great, oh man, I love returning to this one every now and then. I just wish that its sequels came to Xbox or any other console. I don't know if they did, but PopCap is usually one of those mobile-only developers, so the fact that this even got a console version was surprising to me. Puzzle Fighter HD Remix. This game, is fantastic. I love this game. This game originally came out on the Sega Saturn, I believe, or PlayStation 1. I don't remember. Maybe it came to both, but I played it first here with the HD version, and the music in this game is still fantastic. The gameplay is still fun. If you like Gem Fighter, definitely check this one out if you like those type of puzzle games, because they're a blast. Resident Evil Code Veronica HD was a fine way to play Code Veronica. I didn't finish it on this version. I ended up going back to playing it on the Dreamcast and getting farther than I did in this version. It's a solid way to play it, but not many people's preferred way to play it. Resident Evil 4, however, is a great version of a absolute classic, and had a lot of fun with this one in particular. However, there's so many different versions of this game out there that I think it came out on every platform, just like the game next to it, Skyrim. Sonic 4 Episode 1. Oh man, I remember playing this, being hyped for a new classic Sonic game, and playing it and thinking like, this kind of sucks. I know a lot of people don't like this one in particular, or its sequel, Episode 2, even though Episode 2 got better reviews. I know SurgemanX, he does not care for these games in particular. Me, I thought they were alright, but yeah, I didn't really have a place to compare them to, since I was more of a 3D Sonic fan anyways. Super Street Fighter 2 HD Remix, once again, a HD version of an absolute classic game. I do like the graphics in this game, however in particular I really do love the music. I feel like the songs in this game were remixed wonderfully, and Cammy's theme in particular is still my favorite to this day. The King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match. Basically, you get the best of the best. You get pretty much all the characters up until that point. It was kind of like, well, everybody's there, at least up until that point. I mean, it had Shermie in it, so I liked it. With Turtles in Time Reshelled, I remember playing the demo for this, being so hyped that it was finally getting a remaster or / remake, and absolutely hating it. It was nothing like I remembered from the Super Nintendo version, since it was based more off the arcade version, which I didn't really care for at the time. So yeah, big disappointment, no wonder it's delisted. And then last but not least, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Decade Duels. Had such a great time playing this with my boys, Kevin, Turtlebird, SurgemanX. We all had a ball just dueling, making our own decks in this version of the game. And it was Xbox Live, so it was following the official rules of the game, and we had a great time with it. And that's pretty much where my history with the Xbox Live Arcade Marketplace wraps up. A lot of games I prefer to own physically, and I wasn't really big into downloading digital games at the time because of the lack of space on my hard drives. But ever since then, I was like, you know, there are other ways to experience these classics, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to grow up during the time where I was getting to buy my own games. I was still trading games into GameStop. I was still buying Microsoft points. Remember that? Microsoft points? It was definitely a time capsule now, and it's sad to say that it's gone. You know what I mean? But I know a lot of people are saying that the Xbox Live, you know, the Xbox 360 is dead. It's not dead. The Xbox 360 is gonna play your games just fine. It's gonna update those games. All you're missing is like DLC for those games that are not backwards compatible. So, but if you've downloaded any of those in the past, they should still be in your transaction history, and you should still be able to download them. You're just not able to really browse the store or buy things that are still only on that store anymore. So what did you think? Did you share in my experiences with any of these games? Have you played some games that you felt that I probably missed out on and were definitely worth checking out? Remember, this is not the death of the 360, okay? Just the marketplace and a lot of the games that were available exclusively on this platform. Don't forget, a lot of these games were also multi-platform and are still available on the PlayStation Network for the PS3. That being said, there's also a lot of games still tied to the Xbox One and Xbox Series backwards compatibility list. So, the good news is games like Asura's Wrath, the Prince of Persia games, Gears of War, all the DLC that were tied to those games that are backwards compatible, and they're still available to download. So, Thank God for that. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you like what you saw here, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below if you shared my experiences with any of these games. And don't forget to check out the Super Retro Force, a great team of fantastic YouTubers that talk about video games. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope you all have a good game and good night.
Super Retro Force.